Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and today Apple finally announced their iPhone 12 event for October 13th, 2020. Just as predicted, as I mentioned a couple days ago, we'll have the event. It's called High Speed, and it's at 10 a.m. Pacific time or 1 p.m. Eastern. And here's the event page. You can go to it on apple.com, scroll down, and you'll see it. And this particular event, we should see the iPhone 12 as well as some other things. So let's talk about what to expect. Now, like I said before, the event is on October 13th. And if you want to watch it, you can just go to apple.com. And if you go to apple.com, scroll down below what we had announced at the last events, you'll see Apple event, and it tells you where and when to watch it. So go to learn more. And if you tap on this, you can add it to your calendar, but tap on the little apple with the orange and blue ring around it. And then you can get an augmented reality or AR view of it, as well as an object view. Now you can't see it because I'd have to hold my phone vertically, but if you tap on this, you'll see this sort of circles around with the date in the middle, 10.13. So you can spin it around, look at it, and you can play around with it in your room using augmented reality. And so this event will be streamed live on apple.com, probably YouTube as well. And you'll be able to watch it on your Apple TV or wherever you have access to the internet so you can watch it live just like everyone else. So that'll be just like the last event. And it's nice to see them do these little Easter egg sort of things in the Apple event invite. Now, if you got an official invite, it also says high, speed. And so what we expect with this is, of course, iPhone 12, but with 4 different models and then some updates with speed. So the 4 models that we'll see will probably be an iPhone 12 mini, similar to this one. And this is just a non-working sort of prototype model that will work for case makers. We'll have a smaller version like this with a 5.4-inch screen, and then an iPhone 12 and a 12 Pro that are both 6.1 inches like this one, so sort of like this with 3 cameras most likely, and then an iPhone 12 Pro Max that will be a little bit bigger. Now we do expect a LiDAR sensor as well as this squared off design. And to give you an idea of how accurate these sort of prototype units are, well, they're not terribly accurate in the sense of the way the camera bump will look, as here is the iPhone 11 Pro Max prototype. So you can see the prototype versus the real one is a little bit different. So I would expect slight design changes based off of what we've had in the past. The past couple versions I've had these prototype units, and it's slightly different. But similar button placement, this squared off design, which I really like. Of course, a button here, and then there's this cutout here that nobody really knows what it's for. It could be for charging, it could be for the 5G wireless antenna, and that's where the speed, I think, comes in. So with the larger model, it's expected to have 5G, but not just regular sub-6 5G, but also the millimeter wave 5G, and maybe that's what this little cutout's for, the antenna, or it could be for something else that we're not familiar with yet. Also, we're expecting to have a magnetic back with maybe something to attach to it, whether that be AirPods to reverse wireless charge or something along those lines is hard to say, but it seems like we're going to have 5G speeds in all of them, and this may or may not be relevant depending on where you live, but sub-6 is pretty relevant. The millimeter wave is sort of very spotty depending where you live. So I'm near the Charlotte metro area, and we have it in a couple places on a couple corners. It's very directional in line of sight, so it's not that big of a deal, but you will get very high speed access at those specific points. But sub-6 is kind of everywhere at this point, or getting everywhere, and should add for or really help with additional speed. Now, one thing I would love to see is a fingerprint reader. Since they added that with the iPad Air, it would be great for this to be a fingerprint reader, but we'll have to wait and see. But I do expect them to retain the notch with Face ID, just like we have on this 11 Pro Max, a notch with all of this equipment here to do Face ID securely, and maybe we'll have some additional sensors in here so we could use Face ID with a mask. It's hard to say. They haven't announced anything like that, but that would certainly be helpful. Otherwise, a fingerprint sensor would be very helpful for that sort of case. Now, I would expect an A14 CPU like they announced in the iPad Air at the last event, and that should give for some pretty good speeds. We're seeing speeds off of that close to an iPad Pro or faster than an iPad Pro. So the next iPhone could be incredibly fast. Like this is a non-working or a working fake version of the iPhone 12 Pro Max. And so it won't have these 4 cameras, we don't think, but we do expect one to be a LiDAR sensor, like I said. and I would expect 5G. Not a whole lot else, although I would love to see ProMotion. I've had that on the iPad Pro, and to have that on an iPhone when you're scrolling would be incredibly smooth, and maybe they'll surprise us with it. Many leakers are saying it's not in this year's iPhones, but Apple hasn't confirmed anything, and so we'll have to wait and see what they actually announce. Now, with the launch of iPhone 12, 12 Pro, 12 mini, 12 Pro Max, we're expecting iOS 14.1. And so with iOS 14.1, I would expect that probably around the launch of the iPhone 12, usually a couple days before. But if we go into the calendar here, you'll see the event is on the 13th. I would expect the pre-orders to come out on the 16th, and then the actual sale of the device is usually the following Friday, maybe around the 23rd. So I would expect not only the sale of the iPhone then, but maybe iOS 14.1 around those particular dates, maybe the 20th to the 22nd, and then we'll have iPhone 12 and 12 Pro Max, or they could split up the launch. Some people are saying we'll see the Pro models the next month. So we don't know any of this for sure, but hopefully we'll see that soon. And then iOS 14.0.2 could be released tomorrow. In fact, I thought it'd be today, but it looks like tomorrow is more likely. They already released tvOS 14.0.2, so I would expect iOS 14.0.2 as soon as tomorrow. Of course, I'll keep you updated, and they could change this. They could skip it altogether, but it seems like that's what they're going to do. Now, something we've been looking forward to and hearing about for a very long time will probably be announced at this event. And based off all of these circles, many people think this is a hint toward AirTags, or being able to locate different objects using little tags. And so many people are saying that to expect those at this particular event, and maybe we'll see them, a way to locate different bags or things, or maybe some of our luggage if we throw one of these tags in it once we travel regularly again. And you'll be able to locate all sorts of objects, not only by just looking at them on a map, but actually pointing your device at them using augmented reality. So using that U1 chip in here for ultra wideband, you'd be able to locate different things. So that would be great to see that. Now, the other thing we expect other than the iPhones and AirTags is new AirPods. So AirPods Studio, over-the-ear headphones that you would use with your iPhone. Apple recently stopped selling third-party headphones in the Apple Store, and so we expect them to announce AirPods. And so if you go to Apple, and to go along with maybe their Beats lineup, they'll have Apple Studio headphones, and some people have said Beats are going to eventually go away. Now also, maybe we'll have a smaller HomePod or an update to the HomePod, and maybe that's why we haven't seen iOS 14 on HomePods really. Many people are wondering where that is, and we haven't seen that yet. So expect at least iPhone 12, AirTags, and then a new AirPods Studio or new headphones. Now also, we may see an Apple TV update. The hardware is very outdated at this point and really needs an update. And so it looks like we may get an update with an A12X processor as well as a different variant with an A14 CPU. Apple's putting a lot of money apparently into Apple Arcade, so we could see some larger storage sizes as well as a new controller and maybe even a remote as well. So hopefully we'll see something new. I don't know that they'll actually change the design, but hopefully we'll see something new with Apple TV as well, since it's been years and years since they've updated that. Now, finally, we're wondering where macOS Big Sur is. This has been out since, or at least to beta testers, since June, but we have no idea when it's coming out to the public. However, based on what they've done in the past, I would expect it maybe within a week or so, but Apple could push that back based off their Apple Silicon MacBooks, or Macs that they may release later this year. And so maybe we'll see that along with a new MacBook that comes out. Hopefully we'll see something like that at this event, maybe a one more thing. Apple did say we will see an Apple Silicon Mac by the end of the year, so maybe we'll see that. But that seems to be, to me, the reason they haven't released macOS Big Sur yet. So maybe we're just waiting for that with Big Sur, and I've been using it. It's been pretty good. I think it will be more stable than Catalina, but I do think they want to get it right. So I'd rather wait a little bit and have them get that right, but hopefully we'll get a date for that as soon as we get the event. And so I'm looking forward to this event more than the previous event by far. I always look forward to the iPhone events along with iOS 14.1 with some new features, hopefully. So hopefully we see everything I talked about, as well as maybe a couple surprises, maybe that Apple Silicon MacBook or Mac Apple said we will see one by the end of the year. They didn't say when, but some others have said that we'll have another event in November. So maybe we will. Apple has done them in the past, but they've never had 3 events, if I remember correctly. So hopefully we'll see that, and maybe we'll see a couple surprises as well. Maybe we'll see it at this event, but we'll have to wait and see. But let me know what you're looking most forward to in the comments below. And also, if you'd like to get your hands on the wallpaper I showed in the video, I'll link it in the description like I normally do. If you haven't subscribed already though, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.